Talking about homes, who really wants to insure a home? Hardly anyone. Most of us live in the belief that floods, earthquakes, fires, thefts don't happen to us, they happen to them or others. And up until it hits you wham in the face, like it did the citizens of Chennai, where severe floods led to destruction of property and just tremendous loss, home insurance really isn't a thing important for people. But should you make it a priority? Let's decode the 5 reasons why insuring your home makes sense with Harsh Shungta, SEBI registered investment advisor and founder of harshshungta.com. Harsh, we are quite vulnerable. I think every monsoon, every year now, the spate of events is telling us that we are very vulnerable and home insurance can't not be a priority anymore.
Absolutely. I mean, I think despite the increase in financial literacy, home insurance somehow has been one area that has sort of got left out. I think the big reason is that in most of the urban centers, you live in collectives, cooperative housing societies or condominiums, etc. And it is best that property insurance be taken by the group rather than by an individual homeowner. And I think that's one big reason why the home insurance market is still not taking off the way it should.
Alright, so you're saying that if you're living in a project or a condominium, you should actually ask your society to do it. But if you're living in individual old styled homes, then you should take an individual policy. Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And now very few people live in their own houses, and that is the reason why you don't really find the society should be taking it, they don't. You should not be taking it, and you assume the society is taking it. So I think that's one reason why it's not happening.
All right, fair enough. So this is a big call for everybody who's watching the show to go back and talk to their RWAs and their societies to actually take a comprehensive policy. Explain to us, what does it cover? Does it cover natural calamities? Does it also cover thefts, fire? Where do you get, how much protection do you get if you take a home insurance?
So, you can break down this in terms of first the natural perils, and typically that's called a fire policy in the insurance jargon. Fire would typically cover fire, it would cover flood, it would cover earthquake, etc. But be careful, I think involve a professional broker, and again, if you do it as a society, the premiums are big enough to excite a broker. If you just do it for your own home, it is not big enough. So, clearly the kind of risks that are covered is one for the property itself, and then the contents within the property. That needs to be covered individually. I mean, you would have consumer goods lying there, you would have furniture, etc. You would have valuables like jewelry, cash, etc. that you would want covered. Typically, to summarize, it is best to cover the property damage on a collective basis, because the loss will happen to you collectively. Right. Just your flat is not likely to be damaged, all the flats or the entire building is likely to be damaged. But the contents within your house, you can insure individually. The good news is policies are now available where the society can buy the group policy, and the individual can extend it for the contents in his home.
Harsh, how expensive is it? Somehow, people also have this thing that it's wasted money. It isn't. You've said that. But what's the payout of insuring, let's say, a property of 1 crore? So,
the cost of the premium for natural perils, etc., is not very high. It's 0.2, 0.3%. So, if you want to get covered for reconstruction costs of about 10 crores, okay, your premium would be in the region of about 2 lakhs. So, if you take it as 1 crore, you're talking of 20,000 rupees. I mean, that is the kind of cost you have. On the other hand, obviously, if you want to cover valuables such as jewelry, etc., that costs much higher. That would be in the region of 1% to 2%. So, that kind of cost.
But what you're saying is land is doesn't need to be insured, it's only the reconstruction. So 10 crores would probably take care of an entire society, a reasonable size of a society. Give us quickly some names of PSUs and private companies which are offering home insurance, and have you had a good experience in your past avatar in people dealing with them?
So frankly, not too much experience in terms of dealing, but almost every insurance company, all the 4 PSUs have a bundled home insurance product that's targeted at individuals. If the society wants it, that will have to be structured, but that's easily available. All the large private sector, all the 4 the nationalized insurance companies are offering it. All the large private sector, whether you talk of ICICI Lombard, whether you talk of Bajaj Alliance, whether you talk of IFCO Tokyo, all of them offer property insurance as well.
Harsh Rungta, thanks very much for joining us and taking us through those 5 reasons and the way to go ahead with home insurance. Thanks.